Imagine getting away with a horrible crime, living as a ghost for 10 years. You have a new name, a new life, and a rock-solid belief that you got away with it. But you're wrong. A small, dedicated team of investigators never gave up. They refused to let the case go cold. This is the story of how they tracked down California's most wanted ghost. Our story starts in Anaheim, California, during the summer of 2012. An argument with the mother of his children spiraled into unimaginable savagery. Rodriguez allegedly stabbed the woman, not once, not twice, but around 18 times. Miraculously, she survived, but the attack left permanent physical and emotional scars. As she was rushed to the hospital, Rodriguez was already gone. The DA's office charged him with attempted murder and other serious felonies. A warrant was issued, but Pedro Rodriguez had already vanished. He fled the city, then the state, heading for the border. Detectives realized he had fled California entirely, making their job 10 times harder. With every passing day, the trail grew colder. Rodriguez was careful, leaving his old life behind to erase his identity. New names are easy to get, and old lives are easy to bury. For the victim and her two children, the nightmare was far from over. For a decade, he lived completely under the radar, building a new life for himself. He must have believed that with enough time, the memory of his crime would fade. He was betting on being forgotten, a ghost in a system that always has newer, more urgent cases. For a long, long time, it looked like he was right. The manhunt slowed and the trail went completely cold. For 10 years, Rodriguez lived as a free man. 10 years is a long time, long enough for a fugitive to build an entirely new world. In Mexico, Pedro Rodriguez was no longer the wanted man from Anaheim. He was just another person. But back in Orange County, his case was never forgotten. For the victim, the years brought a decade of looking over her shoulder. The case remained a constant, nagging reminder of justice denied for the Anaheim PD. Even though leads dried up, this file could never become just another cabinet entry. Cold cases are a challenge, but some crimes demand an escalation beyond local resources. They knew a state-level search wasn't enough to catch an international fugitive hiding in plain sight. The crucial call was made: bring in the specialists who hunt global ghosts. That one decision brought federal resources and global reach into the fight against Rodriguez. The task force specializes in finding needles in a massive global haystack. Their network of international attachés would become the bridge to finding Rodriguez. The hunt for Pedro Rodriguez was now officially an international operation, 10 years late. They started re-examining every single piece of evidence from the night it happened. This wasn't about a single aha moment. It was about patient, difficult intelligence gathering. They searched for old friends, new aliases, and any digital breadcrumbs Rodriguez might have left. They knew he was in Mexico, but pinpointing his location was the ultimate challenge. Every small connection was logged, creating a complex web around the fugitive's assumed identity. The ghost was about to become a target, thanks to the renewed focus and shared intelligence. A break came not from luck, but from meticulously cross-referencing old financial records with new border crossings. The trail had gone cold for 10 years, but now the path leading directly to Rodriguez was lit up. This new, collaborative effort was the beginning of the end for Rodriguez's decade of freedom. The quiet life at Pedro Rodriguez built began to feel far less secure. Justice, delayed for a decade, was finally closing the gap. For the victim, the decade wasn't freedom. It was a constant, low-grade state of alert. Knowing the man who tried to end her life was still walking free, untouched by consequences. But in Orange County, some detectives refuse to let the file gather dust. Their dedication to this relentless pursuit is a commitment most people never see. A commitment to ensure that no one simply disappears from accountability. Their tireless work ensures that justice, eventually, finds its way. The dedication required to solve cases like this, even after 10 years, is truly remarkable. It's a commitment to the victims, ensuring their decade of worry finally nears its end. If you find these stories of relentless justice compelling, consider subscribing. Your support empowers us to keep telling stories of perseverance against all odds. Help us bring these decade-long hunts to their rightful conclusion. Now, back to the hunt for Pedro Rodriguez. The turning point finally came in early 2022. After years of careful work, investigators got credible information. The exact nature of the tip remains a secret, protecting valuable sources. But it was the crucial break they needed after a long decade. With a location identified, coordination began immediately. U.S. agents must work closely with local authorities in foreign jurisdictions. The Mexican government issued a provisional arrest warrant for Rodriguez. This gave local police the green light to find and detain him. The hunt was on, and the net was closing in across the state. A joint team pinpointed his exact location inside Mexico. For Rodriguez, the world he built was shrinking fast. The cat-and-mouse game that stretched across a decade was reaching its endgame. In July 2022, the hunt for Pedro Rodriguez came to a sudden end. Acting on the warrant, Mexican law enforcement located and arrested him. After a decade on the run, his time was up. He viciously attacked the mother of his children and simply vanished. Rodriguez was moved to Mexico City for extradition proceedings. A U.S. federal court charged him with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. A few days later, escorted by FBI agents, Rodriguez was flown back to Orange County. When he landed, he was handed over to the local authorities. The ghost was no longer a ghost. He was a man in handcuffs. He stood on the same soil he had fled 10 years prior. He was about to answer for what he'd done. The original, more serious state charges could finally move forward. On November 21, 2022, Pedro Rodriguez, now 33 years old, appeared in court. He pleaded not guilty to the charges he fled from. The charges against Pedro Rodriguez was read out. Guilty on all charges. This was a quiet but powerful victory for law enforcement. Most importantly, it was a victory for his victim. It's a reminder that determined investigators never let a case go cold. Justice has a very long memory and an even longer reach. For 10 years, Pedro Rodriguez thought he had gotten away with it. He thought he could outrun his past and disappear completely. But he badly underestimated the resolve of the people looking for him. He tried to become a ghost, but some ghosts are never forgotten. The collaboration between local, federal, and Mexican authorities proved crucial. Justice has a very long memory.